This week, we're covering 5 things we think you should know before you get your Sourdough Sidekick.
Hey guys, I'm Grace. I'm new to FirstBuild. I am going to be the one that will be confirming your all's shipping addresses. So for you backers that have already ordered your sidekicks, please keep a lookout in your all's emails for that confirmation. Even if you haven't moved and your address is the same, please make sure to confirm so we make sure that you all get your all's sidekicks in a timely fashion. You all will be seeing those emails in the next coming weeks, so keep a lookout for those emails. Make sure to respond to that email, and I can't wait to hear from you all.
Hey everybody, this is one of the sidekicks we use to grow a starter here at FirstBuild. Today, I'm gonna show you how to clean it. Okay, I'm gonna break this up into really 3 areas that need to be cleaned. The crock, the starter area, the flour, and the water. So first off, I'm gonna go with the crock. Now, if you plan to start another grow or another feeding cycle, I recommend you get your tablespoon of starter out at this point. So this was last fed yesterday. This starter is really hungry. It's been about 24 hours. And I'm gonna start another grow over the weekend because, well, number 1, it's a weekend, and number 2, there's a blizzard coming. And so who knows how long we're gonna be gone. I'm gonna set this up to be ready. It's Friday, I'm gonna set it up to be ready Wednesday of next week. I hope the snow's melted by then. Maybe I should do Friday. Okay, so first step, you'll notice I put that on a plate. That's my tablespoon, a little bit over a tablespoon, totally fine. That's enough to seed my next cycle. And now I'm going to clean the lid. So let's go, and actually I'm gonna clean the crock too. I'm gonna go ahead and discard this. You can use it if you want. We have so much starter that we just discard. So I like to call this discard art. At this point, you can take it off. Hold this little gear here, and you can just twist that right off and pull it. This, throw it in your dishwasher if you want. Easy, your fingers reach in there easily. You can use a little cleaning. Okay, I've got my lid and my paddle cleaned. So this works best when you're interacting with this paddle if you hold this gear with your finger. And so what you'll do is you'll put the pin down into the slots and then rotate it, locks right in position. Okay, I've got a clean crock, lid, and paddle. I'm gonna set these over to the side. Actually, I'm gonna start a grow, so let's go ahead and dump. This is about 15 grams, 1 tablespoon. I'll go ahead and dump that in. I'm gonna throw my paddle back in. Set that off to the side, let's move on to the flour. This is a pro tip from having used this quite a bit. When you take the flour hopper off, if there's flour in there, which there almost always will be, it is possible that some flour will fall out. I take the lid and just set it right underneath to capture that. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna twist this counterclockwise when looking down on it, and then lift straight up. And then you can just empty this in a bowl or wherever you wanna put the flour. So the flour hopper has got three internal components that can all come out and be washed if you'd like to. So I'm gonna go ahead and disassemble it. So these parts all have little kind of slots and keys. It's not complicated, but those are there to keep the parts in place during operation. So you may have to rotate them a little bit to pull them out. It's very simple to do. You want to get these nice and dry before you put flour back in it. Otherwise you'll end up with concrete. You'll notice there's a little chute here. That's where the flour will exit into the crock. Scrub that out if you need to, or just like take a paper towel, and if you want to, you can just like pull it through, you know, something like that to clean it out. No big deal. And then the last step is the water tank, which what you'll do is you'll lift this little lid up, and there's a little crossbar here that you can just take and pull straight up. Comes out. This doesn't really get dirty. You're just using, you know, your standard water, whatever you choose for your sidekick. It could be bottled water, tap water, I don't know, whatever. So you can dump that out, you know, if it's been sitting maybe for a while, dump it out, refill it. So I'm gonna get it set back up and start growing some starter again for next week. And that's cleaning, pretty simple.
All right, here's something else to know about the Sourdough Sidekick. To kick off any cycle, you're gonna need some seed starter. Now that is only 15 grams or about a tablespoon of already existing starter. So you can get that seed from a friend who's already into sourdough. You can get it from a bakery. You can get it from King Arthur Baking Company, or you could grow your own. But be aware that that is a whole process. It takes 4 to 14 days, but don't worry, the Sidekick can walk you through that too. There's instructions in the use and care guide, so factor that into your timeline and how you get your seed. Now, if you're anything like me, one of your most important questions when starting a starter from scratch is it ready yet? Does this look right? And one of the ways that we're gonna be able to help with that is if you join the Facebook group for the Sourdough Sidekick. There, we're all gonna be posting pictures showing off our bakes and also asking, does this look right? So I'll see you there.
So you might not know, Sourdough Sidekick actually has a feature called intermittent mixing. And what that does is every 2 hours, your Sidekick, when it's not in the feeding, will mix for about 30 seconds. So if you are not in the feeding and your Sidekick starts moving around, the paddle at least starts moving, nothing to be feared about. It is just intermittent mixing. So the reason we do intermittent mixing is 2 reasons mainly. For one, it helps to redistribute the food and helps to keep the starter mixed well. So every 2 hours or so, the sourdough starter gets mixed up, and that gives the microbes a chance to find new food they weren't around before, is at least my understanding of it. And the other reason is it helps us to fit more sourdough starter in the crock without it overflowing. So if it doesn't look like it's doubling or tripling like you're used to, that's fine. It's still healthy. It's doing exactly what it should. It's just being mixed up so that it's got more access to food. So if you don't want intermittent mixing on, it's super easy to turn off. Just go into Settings, go to Intermittent Mix, and turn it off. And it's that easy.
I've said this 100 times. The beautiful thing here is I don't have to think about this until next Wednesday. It's Friday. That's weight off my shoulders. Okay, this is something we haven't talked about much yet, but let's say you're running a cycle and you want information about, where it is in the cycle or, other information. We actually have that built into the Sidekick. What you can do, in this case, I've just started in auto mode for Wednesday. It's Friday, so it'll be next week. And so it just, by default, it's reminding me of when my goal day is and how much starter it's gonna grow and by what time, 8 a.m. on Wednesday. But let's say I wanna see some other information. Today, it tells me it's Friday, 10:39, 71 degrees. So it'll tell me my ambient temperature in this sort of area, this kitchen. You may wanna know that. Sometimes you don't have that. Thermostat's in the other room, you don't really know what your kitchen temperature is. Turn it again. You can see that my goal, so in this mode, really I've got sort of 2 different status screens. If, however, I'm in a ratio mode, for example, it will tell me time since the last feeding. So how many hours has it been since it was last fed, and how many hours until the next feeding, as well as temperature. It'll also tell you how much starter is in the crock. So it'll give you an estimate of the mass in grams that's currently in the crock, which is helpful. If you wanted to remove the crock, take a little bit out, when you put it back in, you can tell it how much is still in there and it'll continue. But having that information along the way is helpful. So to get to those screens, all you have to do is walk up to a running Sidekick, if it's running a cycle, and just turn the knob and you'll see different displays. You're not modifying anything, you don't have to worry. It's just giving you different views of information on the cycle. In auto mode, really the only ones that are relevant are what the current day is and what your goal is, because by default, it just tells you when the goal is.
Well, those are 5 things we thought you'd want to know about your Sourdough Sidekick, but now's your chance. Put any questions you have in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.